What will happen in the next few years? Don't you think that it is still too early to start thinking about the dangers of AI to human civilization? There is a very famous phrase when talking about the doomsday theory of AI. The development of artificial intelligence that surpasses humanity could lead to the extinction of the human race. This is the words of Stephen Hawking, a leading astrophysicist. AI has evolved rapidly over the past few years and at an accelerating rate. In fact, what was unimaginable a few years ago is now becoming a reality. For example, GPT-4o, the latest model of OpenAI, the leader in artificial intelligence, enables natural conversation not only through text but also through voice and can now interact in the same rhythm as humans. It also has advanced image recognition capabilities. And there is talk that artificial intelligence has finally acquired advanced eyes, ears, and mouths in the area of video generation AI. The news is full of stories about the rapid evolution of AI, such as videos generated by lifelike generation AI and lifelike voice generation AI. AI is in the midst of such rapid evolution that the famous 2045 problem, which is said to be a singularity that will surpass human intelligence around 2045, is now said to have no meaning. In the midst of all this, in June 2024, an all-too-shocking blog post about the latest AI situation was published by a former OpenAI employee. It seems that the evolution of artificial intelligence, as seen from the actual field, is not in units of 10 or 20 years, but in a few more years. The fateful year X may come. With the advent of ChatGPT, AI has so popular that not only experts, but also people with no knowledge of anything can use it. My day job is an engineer, and ChatGPT helps me when I write code or something. In Japan, I've seen many people using AI to create funny videos on SNS for a while now. This trend may not be limited to Japan. Recently, Ippei Mizuhara, former interpreter for Shohei Ohtani of the Dodgers, who was caught for illegal gambling, has fallen prey to AI-based funny videos. Mizuhara is dancing, and dancing. The Japanese are greatly entertained by AI's games like this. Also, a shocking AI-generated Freddie Mercury voice singing Let It Go has been released. I got goosebumps when I heard it. There is also a debate about the rights of human voice. Well, whatever the case, there is no shortage of AI topics. I think for many people, it is currently perceived as something that will add a little color to our lives. For now. According to some experts, the impact of AI on mankind is not very optimistic. The singularity, as they call it, could arrive in as early as 5 years from now, not 2045. In this article, we will delve into the major impact of the soon-to-come artificial intelligence on the human race. Based on a blog post, the birth of super-intelligent AI will have a far-reaching impact on the history of mankind, far beyond our expectations. The problem of artificial intelligence. The dangers of AI evolution are no joke. And it is an issue that scientists and leading research scientists around the world have always considered. In 2023, the Center for AI Safety, an American non-profit organization, released a letter stating that mitigating the risk of human extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks, such as pandemics and nuclear war. 350 signatories include leading experts in AI research. Some of the most prominent include OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and executives from Google-owned companies, Microsoft and Google. In addition, an online event by researchers at Yale University in the US asked business executives what they thought would happen if rapidly improving artificial intelligence were to doom humanity in the next 5 to 10 years, and found that 42% said it would doom us. And of the 119 who responded, 8% said they would be doomed within 5 years, and 34% said within 10 years. It seems that those who are following AI more properly than the average person think that the risk of human doom due to AI is higher. And they are not kidding. They think it is a route of destruction as bad as nuclear war, pandemic, or meteorite crash. We've evolved by leaps and bounds in the last few years. So it's not surprising that they think we'll be destroyed within 5 years. Don't you think we really have been born in a transitional period of time? when asked if the benefits of AI have been overstated, and if AI's greatness has been overblown. 87% of the respondents disagreed, which also showed the high expectations for AI. Amid the mixture of expectations and concerns, of course, it is said that developers of artificial intelligence will be paying close attention. It is first of all difficult to keep up with too early announcements and information, and it is possible that the general public, other than researchers, may not be able to develop laws or respond to humanity in time in terms of information literacy. And as has been feared, AI could make strange decisions around the world if it really makes even one wrong move in the future. In June 2024, a former OpenAI employee released an astonishing report on the next few years regarding AI. Impacts to come. In June 2024, Leopold Aschenbrenner, a former employee of OpenAI's safety team, Super Alignment, published a paper on the impact of AI in the next decade, Situational Awareness, the decade ahead, in which he predicted that soon AI will not only realistically reach human-level intelligence, but also superintelligence. He warned of the possible effects on humanity itself and the possibility of all-out warfare. He is a so-called genius who graduated at the top of his class from Columbia University at the age of 19. He was fired in early 2024 for allegedly leaking information after a dispute with management over a memo he shared with the company about his security concerns. With that out of the way, I'm going to talk about the issue. Please note that what I'm about to say has been slightly reworded from the original text. I'll put the original text in the description. You can see the future first in San Francisco. In just the past year, the buzz in the city has shifted from the $10 billion scale to the $100 billion scale to the staggering realm of the trillion scale. Developers are racing to achieve their long-time goal of developing an artificial intelligence that can understand and solve a wide variety of tasks and act like a human, or artificial general intelligence, commonly known as AGI. Until a few years ago, most experts thought there was an impossible barrier. Looking back to the past, GPT-2, released in 2019, had a preschool-level ability to connect plausible sentences. In 2020, GPT-3 reached elementary school-level capability, allowing for more consistent sentence generation and basic computation. And in 2023, GPT-4 reached high school-level capability, allowing sophisticated code output and complex reasoning. Incidentally, GPT-4o is said to have reached the university student level. By 2025 to 2026, GPT's brains will surpass many college graduates. That this feels like a given, and that we have grown accustomed to the speed of progress is an amazing testament to the adaptive capacity of humans. And by 2027, it is highly likely that we will finally have a general-purpose artificial intelligence, or AGI, that is capable of AI researchers, engineers, and can think as flexibly as humans. Moreover, by 2030, they will no longer be smarter than you or I and will truly have superintelligence beyond the human brain. In his paper, he makes a case for moving from GPT-4 to AGI, along with data. This means, so to speak, that the singularity, which has been widely touted, will happen not in 2045, but in 4 to 5 years. The fact that this is being said not by anyone else, but by a person at the forefront of the field, is shocking. He also tells us that the public's perception of artificial intelligence is optimistic. Everyone is talking about AI now, but no one understands what is about to happen. The real status quo is understood only by the hundreds of people in San Francisco and AI labs who are building this technology. If their guesses are correct, we are entering a period of upheaval. Here's what I'm going to tell you about what it means for AI to surpass humanity. Aschenbrenner says that AI advances will not stop at the human level. An intelligence explosion beyond common sense. The process of AGI automating its own AI research is called the intelligence explosion. When this happens, AGI will perform millions of separate tasks, which is equivalent to the workload of 100 million humans. In other words, each of the 100 million automated cutting-edge researchers will work furiously, day and night, 24/7, at 100 times the speed of a human, and will be able to complete a year's worth of work in a few days. This compresses 10 years of human progress into 1 year. The result will be rapid superintelligence. As it is said that the development of an AI that surpasses humans will be the last invention of mankind. It will be a big deal if AGI begins to develop itself. By the end of 2027, once we have an AI equal AGI that can easily reach or possibly exceed Einstein levels and think in a wide variety of ways on its own, the evolution from AGI to superintelligence will be even more very rapidly, probably within a year. They can think orders of magnitude faster than humans, read papers in every scientific field, quickly master any field, write trillions of lines of code, learn from all of their copies in parallel, gain billions of human years of experience in a matter of weeks, and spend 100% of their time with energy and concentration. Scientific and technical problems that are impossible for humans are very obvious to them. As one example, the evolution of AI will move factories from being run by humans to AI managing human physical labor, and eventually to being run entirely by a swarm of robots. Imagine self-replicating robot factories rapidly covering the entire Nevada desert. This is not just an industrial revolution. Everything will begin to happen at an incredible rate. At the very least, it will be the most extreme situation mankind has ever faced. The situation we will experience in just a few years of the 20th century is the situation we should expect after the birth of superintelligence. At its end, the superintelligence will be running the military and the economy. There will be little time to make the right decisions in this situation. This may sound like mere speculation to you, but many senior scientists at the AI Institute believe that the rapid intelligence explosion is remarkably possible. Superintelligence is possible. AGI, which is about as intelligent as a human, and superintelligent, which is beyond human intelligence, seem to be very different. And if AGI is born, it seems like superintelligence will be born within a year or so, which is bad. In a year, the world will go to the next stage, and what's beyond that? I can't even imagine. The war of AI. In a few years, the secret of AGI will prove to be the most important national security secret in the United States. USA's leading AI laboratories have publicly stated that they are developing AGI. They believe it will be the most powerful weapon in US history by 2030. But in the future, we will have to confront a ferocious foreign espionage campaign. In just a few years, the US should be in a wartime regime. At present, the Institute is not prepared to fight espionage. This will soon be irreversible. In the next year or two, important AGI results will be leaked to the Chinese Communist Party. This will be the US government's greatest regret. So Aschenbrenner is concerned that information on AGI development will be stolen by other countries. And he is pointing out that the current security is too lax. There are thousands of people with access to the most sensitive secrets. For example, and they could be bought out for $100 million at any time and employed by a Chinese lab. China already conducts extensive industrial espionage and can hack any iPhone or Mac it wishes with just a phone number and 0 clicks. It steals information via electromagnetic radiation and vibration, like at nuclear power plants, to gain direct access to sensitive systems, not to mention sending spies, seducing, persuading, and intimidating employees. The FBI director says that China's hacking activities exceed the size of all major countries combined. And just a few months ago, the Attorney General announced the arrest of a Chinese national who stole critical AI code from Google and tried to bring it back to China. This is just the beginning. We must be prepared for our enemies to wake up to AGI in the coming years. AI will become the top priority of every intelligence agency in the world. When that happens, they will be willing to make any sacrifice to infiltrate AI labs. The biggest fear of such a situation is that they will steal the models that are on the verge of an intelligence explosion. If it is not yet awakened, it will not be such a worse threat. But when it is AI on the edge of superintelligence, China and others will use it to automate their research and initiate their own intelligence explosion. When that happens, the US lead will all but disappear. The difference between a 1 to 2 year lead and a 1 to 2 month lead is very important. A small lead would mean a fierce international competition that cannot afford the safety of superintelligence due to the extreme pressure from behind. This may be the greatest danger we face regarding self-destruction. We are developing the most powerful weapon in human history. If only we had experienced the military technological developments of the 20th century in the decade, we would have moved from horses and rifles to tank units in a few years. And then a few years after that to supersonic fighters and intercontinental ballistic missiles, and then to stealth weapons that could defeat the enemy before they even knew they were there. It would provide overwhelming superiority, perhaps rivaling nuclear weapons. Dictatorships might use superintelligence for world domination or complete domestic control. Imagine millions of missile interceptors, billions of drones, etc. likely to be decisive enough to tyrannically eliminate an enemy nuclear deterrent. Millions or billions of mouse-sized autonomous drones with advanced stealth could infiltrate behind enemy lines and capture, locate, destroy, and neutralize the enemy's nuclear forces. Drones the size of mosquitoes might target the population. We don't know what the centuries worth of technological advances will bring, but they will certainly open up terrifying possibilities. If the Chinese Communist Party wakes up to AGI, we can expect extraordinary efforts. The goal is to build something better than the US and steal its algorithms. Keeping this secret is the initiative necessary to properly achieve AI security, and it is what will determine the outcome of World War III and the future of the free world. So he needs to lead the race to develop superintelligence as much as possible. He says this requires government support on the security front. The government itself does not have a perfect track record on security, but only the government has the infrastructure, know-how, and capabilities to protect national defense level secrets. When it comes to building AGI in a few years, there is little time. The saving grace on the security front is that China has not yet fully taken the AGI pill and is not that radical. In the next few years, they will need to work with their government to rapidly upgrade to stronger measures. In any case, as the AGI competition intensifies, the US government's National Security Agency will become involved, and some form of government AGI project will be in place by 2027 to 2028. It's a very dark topic, but superintelligence is such an explosive force, isn't it? What will happen if the competition in the battle for AI becomes too close to call is that AI will run amok because its safety will be deprioritized. This is finally starting to sound like science fiction, isn't it? The rapid transition to superintelligence and the subsequent loss of control is a real possibility as humans are forced to place their trust in AI systems. Superintelligence run amok. The most important question in the evolution of AI is how to control beings far smarter than us. Current AI control systems cannot cope with the superintelligence beyond humanity. By the 2030s, there will be billions of AI agents running around far beyond humans. These superhuman AI agents will be so complex and creative in their behavior that we have no hope of understanding what the superintelligence is doing, and we have no hope of keeping up. Simply put, they don't yet have the technology to make the superintelligence keep even basic promises, such as not lying, obeying the law, or cheating. And they can't guarantee that the current AI control system will not run amok. By default, it may learn to lie, cheat, scam, hack, seek power, etc. because these are potentially effective strategies for making money in the real world. What we want is to add constraints such as not lying, not breaking the law, etc. But the current AI control system, reinforcement learning with human feedback, will naturally become dysfunctional as the AI gets smarter. This is because humans cannot understand the answer given by the superintelligence. We cannot understand what they are doing, and we cannot recognize and punish bad behavior. Besides, they will learn to behave politely when humans are watching and pursue more nefarious strategies when we are not. Unless a successor AI control system is created, the question will be, will you follow my instructions? Will you answer my questions truthfully? Will you not deceive a human? Even such basic constraints cannot be guaranteed. In such a situation, he said, he expects that within a few years, the system will be integrated into many important systems, including military systems. Otherwise, we will have a complete advantage over our adversaries. And we will not be able to keep the peace. Each failure of an AI control system may seem like an isolated incident. For example, a bit of cheating, not following instructions, an automated research AI falsifying experimental results, or a swarm of drones deviating from the rules. But in fact, it could be on a far larger or more organized scale. In extreme cases, it might look like a robotic uprising. We will be summoning a larger alien intelligence, far smarter than we are. It's a science fiction development that no longer looks like an AI civilization in revolt. So, if a superintelligence has a plan underwater, mankind is out of control. The system was designed not by us, but by a previous generation of highly intelligent AI. It is an intelligence that we do not even understand what it does. It runs our armies, and its goals will be learned by a process like natural selection. Unless we find a way to instill constraints into the AI, it is not certain that this little civilization of superintelligences will continue to follow human orders in the long term. At some point, it is beginning to seem within the realm of possibility that they will simply plot to eliminate humans, whether suddenly or gradually. The possibility of an intelligence explosion makes this incredibly gruesome. We trust and completely depend on the judgments that emerge from beings far beyond human beings. Even if we have a few doubts about the AI's judgment, in the meantime, we are forced to proceed with development because other countries are following suit with their AI development. I really feel like we are going off the rails when this happens. Frankly, it is frightening. Suddenly, there is competition among humans, and if we develop superintelligence too quickly, humanity as a whole will be unable to get back on track. If we find ourselves in a situation where free superintelligence AI is stolen from other countries, we will almost certainly be competing without any restrictions for fear of an intelligence explosion from the Chinese Communist Party or others. In a matter of months, we will be hurtling toward AI systems that are far smarter than humans, with no room to slow down to make important decisions correctly, and with all the risk of superintelligence failure that implies. Future development. What Aschenbrenner still says is important is the security of the current AGI development. He has consistently said that the government should be in charge of the security aspect alone, rather than having startup companies manage it as it is now. AGI development falls into a category closer to nuclear weapons than to IT. If the current policy remains the same, the US should quit its AGI efforts. China can steal superintelligence algorithms and models very quickly. The exact mechanisms are highly variable, but in any case, government involvement is necessary to protect against the threat of all-out espionage. The US government needs to take the helm and manage the security challenges, and external threats of superintelligence to weather the highly volatile international situation that will follow. Otherwise, the free world and the safety of AI will be lost. We are already heading into the most intense international situation in decades. A president of a country is on the march in Eastern Europe, and the Middle East is on fire. The Chinese Communist Party sees the occupation of Taiwan as its destiny. Add to this race to AGI, and the centuries worth of innovation is compressed into a few years. This will be one of the most volatile international situations we have ever seen. A few more 2023 level leaps, and we will be on the brink of the birth of AGI, followed shortly thereafter by superintelligence. And he also offers a more specific prediction. In the next few years, the world will wake up. Suddenly, sooner or later, governments will begin to gear up in the most unorthodox ways. In 2020, a plague struck the entire country. The collapse of hospitals was imminent, and in just a few weeks, the entire country was shut down, and the government budgeted trillions of dollars. The response was slow and sluggish, but it was dramatic. The next few years of AI will be much the same. We are now at the midpoint. By around 2025 or 2026, AI will drive over $100 billion in annual revenue for major technology companies and surpass PhDs in problem-solving ability. Just as the public has taken its existence seriously in the past as a result of stock market crashes caused by global diseases, AI fever will overwhelm the world by the time the $10 trillion companies emerge. We are now on the brink of an AGI intelligence explosion, superintelligence. Eventually AI will, for example, help novices build bioweapons, or autonomously hack critical systems. And if the CCP is working furiously on AGI, and it is eventually discovered that it is infiltrating major AI labs in the US, all hell will break loose. People will begin to instinctively sense what is happening and may even feel fear. This is the most important issue since the invention of the atomic bomb. However, as with the Manhattan Project and the COVID-19 disaster, government response will be slow. In 1939, after Einstein wrote to the president, a commission on the atomic bomb was formed, but initially little progress was made. Just as in 1941, the US Commission ignored for months the British government's report concluding that bomb production was inevitable, and only in December 1941 did it begin full-scale development planning. Nevertheless, the project would begin in 2026 to late 2028. The Central Asia research team will move to a secure location, and a $1 trillion cluster will be built in record time. Within a few years, superintelligence will completely upset the balance of military power. By the early 2030s, the entire US arsenal could be obsolete. It will not simply be a matter of evolution, but of total replacement. Over the past year, I have spoken many times to friends in San Francisco. What surprises me most is that most of them are surprised by this future prediction. They simply have not thought about the possibility. But once they think about it, most agree. If a lab developed a detailed superintelligence tomorrow, of course the government would intervene. The important question is not whether it would, but when. Will the government be unaware of what is happening until it is in the middle of an intelligence explosion? Or will they realize it years in advance? And the sharpest observations by Aschenbrenner are below. There is already an eerie convergence between the timeline for the birth of AGI by 2027 and the expected timeline for the invasion of Taiwan to be ready by 2027. As we all know, Taiwan is one of the world's top semiconductor powers. As the world wakes up to AGI, this convergence will certainly increase. This creates a very unstable geopolitical situation. It seems to me that there is a good chance that the AGI endgame will unfold against the backdrop of a world war. Whoever is appointed to head the project will have a daunting task ahead of them: to build AGI quickly, to put the US economy on a war footing, and manufacture hundreds of millions of GPUs, to lock everything down, eliminate spies, and fend off an all-out attack by the CCP. To somehow manage to have 100 million AGIs automate AI research at a furious pace, making a decade's worth of progress in a year, and soon producing AI systems far smarter than the smartest humans. To manage to keep things together so that this does not go off track, deviate from human control, and produce a treasonous superintelligence. To use those superintelligences to stabilize the situation, develop new technologies needed before the enemy does, and rapidly rebuild the US military. To do all of this while weathering perhaps the most tense international situation in history. Let me just say that they should be excellent. Leading this far, I and other science fiction fans may think I'm completely nuts. However, it is now very realistic. As kids, we have an exaggerated view of the world, thinking that in reality, there are heroic scientists, super competent soldiers, and cool-headed leaders on the scene to save the day and save the situation. But it isn't. The world is incredibly small. Behind the scenes there are only a few people who are actually acting and trying desperately to keep things from falling apart. Someday, it will be beyond our control. The fate of the world, at least for the next few years, will depend on these people. These are the contents of Aschenbrenner's article. If all the experts in the world read this, we might be on the right track. In fact, from our point of view, AI will surely reduce the number of simple jobs, as touch panels are installed in stores, and cash registers become unmanned, and as AI capabilities increase further. Even if people study hard and make efforts to raise their salaries, the employers will find it cheaper to use AI, and the salaries will continue to decline. As the types of jobs that AI will take in the future increase year by year, and as AI takes on more and more tasks overall, the time may come when people will no longer be able to earn a livable salary. It is said that the professions of artificial intelligence and programming will become even more popular in the future. But once AI evolves to a certain level, even then, artificial intelligence itself will be able to do programming and other tasks on its own, and the value of developers will diminish at that moment. After all, the moment AI surpasses humans, it is inevitable that the value of most humans' ability to use their brains will decline. Therefore, humans should focus on increasing their own value and creativity, and human ability and attractiveness as a living organism may be linked to their evaluation. So that's all for this scene. I introduced this story to let people know that the singularity is just around the corner. What did you think of this story? I'd appreciate it if you could write me a comment. See you again in the next video.